What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Sullivan Project podcast. I'm your host, Harold Sullivan. Got some nice warm weather for this time of year, as of I'm recording this anyway. It seems like that gun, I don't know what it is. The human body will tell you that with the weather. You know, you don't even have to have an ailment or arthritis. It'll tell you that. You can tell when it's warm. Uh, you can tell when it's gonna rain and all that. You go direct for different directions. Your body's like a compass as well. Uh, if y'all haven't tuned in before, we have celebrity cameos, and this is the podcast for everything about everyone. Or, sorry, about everything for everyone. And no judgment. You can come on and talk about movies or art, entertainment, family, life, food, or just like stuff like spiritual and metaphysical, supernatural, paranormal, the woo woo, stuff. It's not woo woo to me anymore since I lost my sight a few years ago. And I was actually born with an autoimmune disease. There's lots of different ones. That just means your body's always fighting non-healthy and healthy stuff, like the cells. It doesn't know. And so I haven't been able to walk since I was a child. I've been in a wheelchair, and I'm still going. We all got stuff to do. That's why we're still here. And if people think there's nothing else, a lot of people live their life that way, and you can see it and understand, but there is more. I got some reviews that we're going to talk about. Oh, and yeah, previous episodes. You can check out Harold Sullivan 78 on TikTok and Harold Sullivan 78 on YouTube. And then Harold Sullivan period 35 Facebook. And then you can call the show 724-513-1472. Or you can email HS, the two letters, 1978-2015 at outlook.com. If you want to be a guest on the show, audio or video, I should say. Or if you just want to leave a comment or answer like a question from the show or participate in anything. And we appreciate you friend request, share, like, all that good stuff. Follow. And, everyone has a story and you can't judge a book by its cover. That's what we like to say here. So let's get into some reviews here. There's another documentary about Chucky from Child's Play. It's called Living with Chucky. This one's actually free on Roku, I think. Roku stuff has a lot of good stuff for free. And if you have a TV, which they're not very expensive and they're good TVs, it's all built in there. I didn't even know that until I decided to go away from cable and just go with streaming. There's so much to choose from, but it's cool. And this documentary actually has it's shorter. It's only a couple hours. The other documentary I had talked about in the past, can't remember. It's another Child's Play documentary. Just came out recently. It's you got to buy it though, and it's like 5 or 6 hours long. This one actually has a lot of good stuff. Like they talked about how the original director Tom Holland came up with the name Charles Lee Ray after a couple of different killers and like Manson and Oswald and there was another name I can't remember, but he put them all three together. And he changed some things and he made Chucky a little bit different. The original script was called Blood Buddy or Buddy, and he had like fake blood in him. There was no killer uh, with an amulet and changing into the body and all that. Spoiler, but it's a good documentary. Check that out. Also, I mentioned the Freddy Krueger documentary about Robert Englund, and then Freddy's Nightmares is available, the TV show, for free streaming right now. It was 2 seasons. And I just recently reviewed the first episode, No More Mr. Nice Guy, which was basically Freddy in prison or in a courtroom, and before he got burned, and they were Doing a trial, he escapes, and then the parents hunt him down and burn him alive. And I recommend checking that out. I got some hip pain. Readjusted my leg rest in my wheelchair, and it's making it worse, I think, instead of better. My gosh, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to have pain, I guess, and that just sucks. Because I don't believe we're here to have pain. We're just taught and conditioned to feel that. But there's no difference between pain and pleasure. Your body, you just have to teach it. It's the same sensation. Sensations are the same thing. I'm working on it, though. But yeah, so we got that. Computer, what are my stickies?
I found 10 notes. All-American Massacre, Living with Chucky, Freddy Krueger, Venom, Last Dance, Deadpool,
Computer,
Wolverine,
stop. And then I just recently didn't know, but I kind of remember maybe back in the 90s. All American Massacre. It was a never before released Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel. It was supposed to be part three, I guess. Tony Hooper, son of Toby Hooper, was just doing like a short reel of effects, and then he ended up writing a script, and he actually got Bill Moseley, who was in the first two Texas Chainsaws, and a couple other actors, actresses, and he's made a movie. Uh, and it never got released, and nobody knows where it is. There used to have a trailer, it got disappeared. There was some footage. Buckethead, the metal band, actually did music for it, and then that guy, who the singer, I guess, of the band, played Leatherface. And the plot is, I guess, Bill Moseley's in jail talking about his stuff that he's done and flashbacks and whatnot. And so there's a younger guy or younger, there's a younger portrayal of Chop Top and Leatherface. And Jim Sedell, rest his peace, who played the dad, who passed away, was supposed to have a scene in it. But I think he died before that. But if anybody can find out information, let me know. You know, but I completely just forgot it was so long ago. I was born in '78, so this was like late '90s, maybe early 2000 that this movie was supposed to come out. But it's called All American Massacre, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Lost sequel. There's a documentary on it now. And it's free. You can check out. And then Deadpool, Wolverine, awesome. Finally got to that. I'd give that probably about 7.5 out of 10, which is high. I don't do 8s, 9s, 10s usually. And very good. This trailer I just thought was crappy. The trailers are just dry, but the movie was nonstop. Very vulgar though. I don't know, Disney and Marvel, like there's like talking about, I don't want to say the words, but it's Deadpool, and the story's a little funny, but I love Channing Tatum playing spoiler, playing Gambit, and some other characters. Wesley Snipes come back. I love the fanboy stuff. Uh, and time travel, of course, anything with time travel. So Deadpool, Wolverine, and now Wolverine and Deadpool, they're all in the same universe. So even though they're getting kind of old, it's possible that Spider-Man and Hulk could fight Wolverine now. Which, I mean, I'm fans of all those. Who doesn't want that? And then on to Venom Last Dance, same thing. Venom and Deadpool, that would be so cool. You know, I always would like to see Harley Quinn from DC in there with Deadpool. But Deadpool, but Venom is good too. I'd probably get out of 7. And I'm thinking how they end that now. Maybe Venom will show up. Spoiler, or his Eddie Brock will be in the next Avengers movies, and Spider-Man will finally get to face Venom because of these realities and how they cross over. So we got that going as well. George Foreman just passed away. God bless him. The two-time heavyweight champion boxer, champion of the world, '76, I believe. Uh, Computer, what are my stickies?
I found 10 notes. All-American Massacre, Living with Chucky, Freddy Krueger, Venom, Last Dance, Deadpool, Wolverine, George Foreman.
Computer, stop. Yeah, so, and I was a big fan of him, and there's a movie that came out recently, Big George Foreman, I think it was called, or Big George, I think it was Big George Foreman, very good. I do recommend that. The guy sounds spot on. I'm not sure how he looked because I'm blind, but it was good. And then Freddy Krueger, I mean, recently, since I've been blind, listened to A Nightmare on Elm Street, the first movie, and I'm going to give that probably 8 out of 10. 1984. There's a couple moments where people talk out loud, and I don't know if I'd ever do that, or people really do that in real life, where they're like, "Well, maybe I am going crazy." Nancy says that, and then later on, one of the policemen says, "Maybe I should go get the lieutenant or whatever out loud," you know. But I guess they got to so that they're just not standing there and having a certain look. You know what I mean? I don't know. But the movie's great. Just the story, the acting, how they're portraying younger, especially Amanda Weiss, who played Tina, and she was killed in the beginning, like an homage to the first Psycho. So, very good. The first Nightmare on Elm Street. There is a part they say where you can see a mattress at the end where Freddy's on fire and the guy falls on the mattress. And you can obviously tell it's somebody else because he's puffier with the makeup and all that. Oh, and here's one more thing about the movie. I don't quite understand. When Freddy's wearing a hat and she pulls off his hat, Nancy pulls it out of the dream and he doesn't have the hat the rest of the movie. But yet, Nancy's mom has kept his claw all these years and he still has the claw. So are they saying he had more than one claw? Which we did find out in part six because he had a whole like basement full of different kinds of claw gloves and things on the glove. Freddy's dead if you want to check that out. But how could he have one and not the other? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. But that's if 90% of it's believable, they say then you can make a movie and people will be into it. Because most of it's believable, the other part can be just way out there and you'll still enjoy it. If it's too much one way or the other, you know, it's not going to work. So, but I love y'all. Love is a choice, and so is to hate, and we will be back soon.